This your girl, Lady J. I'm here with a special guest of mine, my cousin. Like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Shawn Jeanpierre, owner of Classic Coach Barbershop in Austell, Georgia.
Make sure,
Master barber,
make sure y'all
16 years.
go and support that. Right now,
Yeah.
we're outside of Lickety Split, Southern, and Bar. So I got the mashed potatoes with the gravy and green beans, and I got a salmon with bourbon on it. What you got, Cuzzo?
What is it? Turkey wings, yellow rice, candy yams, mac and cheese. This wind got the food blowing everywhere, popping all over everything, but it's good though. We about to make it out.
All right, so as we eat, we're gonna be talking about entrepreneurship, his route of entrepreneurship. What got him to do that, and why we eat. So, tell us about the beginning. What made you wanna do entrepreneurship?
I mean, pretty much, you know, I've always kind of, had it in me. Entrepreneurship is kind of it ain't something I would say you do. It's just who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, working jobs is cool and all of that there, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you always have that drive to want to just get it yourself, on your own terms. You know what I'm saying? So that really, drove me from younger into now. So, that's really the main thing, not just in barbering, but just pretty much, in life in general.
Did you have anybody to show you a way, or you just figured it out on your own?
Nah, it was a bunch of people. Um, people just seeing in the community. My dad, even just like me being a barber, going in a barber shop, seeing like the barbers I grew up around. Kojak, New Roads, Louisiana, Mr. Lee, Spencer. Just seeing how they did it and just kind of admiring that. Being able to, transform, a man from one way to another, kind of giving him that self motivation and making good money at the same time. So that alone, kind of inspired me.
Okay. How long have you been barbering?
We just made 16 years, April 7th.
What made you want to do barbering versus doing anything else?
I mean, actually, it wasn't something that I necessarily always wanted to do. It's just kind of like it was one of those things. Like I said, being an entrepreneur, you kind of just taking, and taking consideration like what's hot, something that's going to always be around, something that a computer or a robot not going to come and replace you with. So you kind of just, look at those avenues for the longevity. Barbering always, it was there. And when, I would go and give me a fresh cut, I would just pay attention and listen and observe. And, one day I was at the barbershop that I started at, Goodfellas Barbershop in Smyrna. And the owner asked me one day, he asked me, have I ever thought about doing it? And I was like, nah, not really, but, I admire the craft. And he was like, well, man, I think you got the personality for it. You should, look into it. So I said, all right. One of them just a basic conversation, went in one end, out the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the job I was working at the time, delivering windshields, I went to work one day and me and one of the managers, we kind of had some words, and I thought about it. I said, man, I didn't come all the way down here to Georgia just to, deliver no damn windshield. So,
I know that's right.
you know what I'm saying? So when I went back to the barbershop, I asked the owner, I said, hey, man, give me more info, on this barbering thing. And he was like, well, all right, I'll give you some info on schools and areas that I think would be a good fit for you. And, probably take about a year to finish. And if you do that, I promise you a spot in my shop. And after that, I did my little research of, the schools he gave me. and checked them out and found the one that was the right fit for me. Profile Beauty and Barber College off Cleveland Avenue here in Atlanta. And it took me 10 months, man. And when I got done with the school, he had me a spot in his shop, you know what I'm saying? And, I stayed there 12 and a half years until I opened my own shop. So that's how that happened.
So, was it easy getting your first customer, or just people? How did you get your first customer?
Well, yeah, it's never really easy, when you're in a shop and you're the new guy. Everybody kind of paying attention to, everything you do. Deciding they gonna let you take a chance on their head. They already may have a barber that they've been already dealing with. So, they cautious of, letting the new guy test you out. So normally what they'll do, they'll like let you start on like the kids, you know what I'm saying, and test them out, see what you can do, and then go from there.
Dang, they gonna let you mess up the kid hairline?
Right. I mean, they feel like the kid is more, something that they can live with versus their own, which is crazy. But I say it normally takes the average new barber in the shop about a month to maybe 3 months to kind of start getting a decent flow. Yeah. Like you probably won't get a locked in clientele like to where, money just flowing to maybe like after about 6 months, because it's a process. But you just got to, the more you there, the more time you in the shop, and you on duty, it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? It gives you what you give it.
So how long you think you gonna last doing barbering, or you just want to provide an avenue for people to come in and barbering club at this point?
Well, I would say for me, I always probably want to be affiliated with it some type of way, either owning shops, managing shops or whatnot. But standing behind the chair, I probably make that decision like after, I hit year 20, and that's 4 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I ain't really got no definite what, how, when, whatever. Just going with the flow. But after year 20, I kind of like start making that hard decision on slowly but surely kind of backing away from getting behind the chair, standing behind the chair like on a regular basis. We probably like certain days out the week that I come in and do that, so I can kind of focus on other things, So yeah,
It's something to think about.
most definitely. You know what I'm saying? I want to do real estate school towards the end of this year, so that's kind of in the plans of those 4 years of between now and year 20 with the barbering. That way, if I can kind of slowly but surely get into that and kind of, figure that game out, that'll be another avenue too as well, that I can kind of dibble and dabble in, once I kind of step away from the, behind the chair full time.
How the mac and cheese?
It's pretty good.
Turkey wings good?
Turkey wing good and tender.
Is it like your mama? No.
Nah, not quite. But it ain't bad though. I would definitely come back for sure.
That catfish in that? It's good. Real good.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and check them out.
So, what other entrepreneurship things you want to do? Like, do you want to give back to the community? Like, you want to teach the kids, or you want to teach adults? Because there's even adults that's around here nowadays that don't know how to be I wouldn't say a successful entrepreneur, but just an entrepreneur period, because being an entrepreneur comes with ups and downs, and you're never going to be like, oh, I'm on a high at all times, because you're not going to be on a high at all times.
No doubt.
Sometimes you're going to be like, ooh, I'm making some money, and you don't even know when the next time you're going to make some money, depending on what you're doing with your entrepreneur type job, or whatever you want to call it. And like owning a shop is even more hassle, because now you got extra overhead that you got to pay for. You got to make sure the lights on. You know, it's just certain things you got to make sure when you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your biggest difficult when it comes down to owning an actual shop versus going into somebody else's shop?
I mean, pretty much like you said, it's just the overhead. You gotta kind of stay above, like ahead of it. Just like you would, you know, at home. You know, it's almost like a second house that you gotta take care of. You know, it's even more like another level of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can pay your bills at home and things of that nature, but when you own a shop, like any business, you gotta make sure you know things are taken care of, just so it can continue to operate. Because that's your bread and butter. So it's another level of pressure sometimes, but you know, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, you already kind of know that going in. So you got to kind of have that, you know, in the back of your mind to stay ahead before, you know, it just get, you know, become too much. But overall, man, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, man. Because you kind of see your, you know, your baby growing, and even like you said, when it's not really flourishing today, maybe as much as it was yesterday, you know, tomorrow it can come back on back full circle. So
Yeah,
that's how you gotta look at it.
them days come quick.
No doubt about it.
You gotta be prepared for, you know, rainy days. Like, let's just say one of your equipment break, you know, or you got let's just say you got 15 customers coming in, but it's only 2 of y'all in there. You know,
Right.
you gotta, you know, figure out how many people could come work for you and all that stuff. So, how is it managing people as an owner?
That might be probably one of the most difficult things because you know you're managing adults, and like I said, you know, shit. Even being a parent, it can be difficult managing kids. But you know, the kids is they kind of underneath your jurisdiction, so to say. So they kind of gotta, you know, abide by your rules. Adults don't have to do that. So you kind of getting adults to buy into what you're selling and your vision, and they gotta be on the same page to even wanna see it and wanna grow with you versus, you know, trying to, you know, combat what you're saying. You say up, they say down. Not realizing that you got to kind of trust the process, you know, because everybody not really made to be a business owner, but you got to kind of observe and you know, observe how that person lives their life or how they move, and then you know you got to put that trust in them. You know what I'm saying? And that way, like you say, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. But a lot of times, you got to make sure that the people are on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And that can be difficult sometimes.
Very much difficult. I manage little kids and their parents. So
Me too.
the little kids may be okay, but the parents, the parents is a different ball game. That's why people be like they don't have patience with adults. Yeah, I understand that, because at first it used to be I didn't have patience for no kids, but now I ain't got no patience for no adults, because it's like it's common sense. Come on,
Right.
It's common sense. You should know better. Like, come on, I gotta teach you this too. Like, something your mama should have taught you. Something your daddy should have taught you. Like, come on, man. I'm not. And most of them be older than me. I gotta teach older people this. So
that's why I say it gotta be in you, man. You know, you too old. After a certain point, you be feeling like I can't train a grown man or a grown woman on stuff that we feel is common sense. But what they said, common sense ain't so common sometimes. That's a fact. You learn that trying to manage people.
That is true. That's true. Hold on. Being that you have done barbering, and then you do Do you kind of do like real estate on the side, like in Louisiana? Like with the...
Nah, I mean, it's that's not really like where I'm at with it just yet. Like I said, I want to go to school for it to really get the ins and outs to really do it right. That way, I would like to be licensed in Louisiana and Georgia, and then so forth. But them two states for sure.
Yeah.
Just because I live here and I'm from Louisiana, so I want to try to capitalize on both of those states.
I think it's a open market going on right now. Atlanta is very oversaturated right now. Like everybody's trying to move here, and it's enough buildings, it's enough places out here,
right?
But the price is real high,
right.
And then ain't nobody trying to cough up no money right now because they don't have it to cough up. So in Louisiana, it might be a little bit better because it's a little lower down there or not, but I've been trying to do real estate as well. Well, I'm in class right now for it. Don't nobody know that, but y'all will eventually know. But I try to do stuff on a low. Cause my auntie, she does flipping houses and stuff in Louisiana. So I want to do that like out here. I want to flip houses out here. I want to go to like Texas and flip houses, a big market like that.
Texas is definitely a big market right now too.
So I want to do stuff like that. What made you decide to say, how did you know barbering was your purpose? Like, how you know that's your purpose in life?
Once I started doing it, it's definitely probably top 3 of the best decisions I ever made in my life, I would say. And realizing that it was kind of my purpose was meeting so many different types of people from all over, different conversations, networking, all of that stuff that made me realize like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that kind of helped me in more ways than one. You kind of in an environment with grown men on average that normally don't have avenues to express themselves. Can't really talk how you want to at work for real, because you're on a people's job. When you go home, your kids and your old lady might not really want to hear you venting all the time because, you're the man of the household. It's like, all right, you got to more so be the strength, versus the person always wanting to vent. We don't have really no country clubs on average for us, so that barbershop is the avenue where men come and they comfortable, they getting pampered, in their own way. They can kind of express themselves with other men that may be going through what they're going through or have been through what they've been through. And feel like, it's neutral. Like, I don't know their wives on average. I don't know their families or whatnot. So they might express something to me that they wouldn't even tell to their best friend. So that alone kind of makes me feel like, okay, I'm helping in some form or fashion outside of just giving a good haircut.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that alone made me feel like, damn, this is not just something that I'm making decent money at, but I'm fulfilling a purpose by giving somebody some advice that they probably wouldn't have gotten outside of the barbershop.
Do you feel like you be their therapist sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they be my therapist sometimes too, because you grow like a certain friendship, a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? A bond with these guys. Like I got people. I've been cutting their hair since the whole 16 years I've been cutting. I got guys who that was in middle school and high school, going to college. Like now, these guys in their late 20s, their 30s with families and in their careers doing very well for themselves. So, little boys that I cut their first haircut when they was 1, now they in like 10th grade, stuff like that. It's like, man, it's crazy. So that let me know like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
How does it feel to see like people go from what they was to what they are now? Just like,
yeah, that's all a part of it. Like seeing the growth, man. And I mean, even with them seeing my growth, man, you know, from like I might have clients that moved away 5, 10 years ago, and they come back to Atlanta to visit. They make sure the barbershop is one of the spots they come to see me, to tell me about what they got going on, to see what I got going on, just for them to see like I was 25 years old when I started. I'm 41 now. So from then, I was a boy, so from a boy to a man, like I said, when I started at the barbershop, Brianna was 7. She's 23 now. So it's like, that's a big difference, so all of that type of stuff is just like, I'll never really wake up mad or feel like, oh, I gotta go to work like a lot of people may do, because it's different, man, and that's a blessing within itself.
So how you feel? How did having a child early help you try to get in the right direction? Did that help you, or that didn't stop? They just you had to go on your own.
Man, that was the key. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I didn't have a kid early, I mean, I'm not saying they would have just been totally. I would have went totally left, but it would have been more like living for today versus thinking it right, thinking
living
it out,
for her, trying to figure out what she gonna eat
right,
and all that stuff. Yeah,
right. For me, it's more so like that kind of made me grow up real quick, get on my grown man ish. You know what I'm saying? Versus just being, out here playing. So
yeah.
It's easy to play and get caught up into the other stuff, but that was a blessing too.
Yeah. So you think your life would be totally different? Not totally different, but like you wouldn't have probably did the things that you have done if you didn't have your daughter?
That's a good question, man. I think I probably still would have, because I always wanted something, I wanted things, but when it's not just about you, it kind of gives you a different drive. So the things that I want, just like back then, it's kind of don't really change. It didn't change as much. Maybe I added traveling to what I want now versus back then. It wasn't really that big of a deal when I was younger, but good food and sneakers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That didn't change. But other than that, like because I don't really, it ain't really much that I need, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To keep
Just
me
simple.
happy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that alone, being a father, kind of make you be like, nah, you gotta, it's bigger than you. You gotta, make something of yourself, so the kid can have somebody they can brag about or be proud of.
Yeah. So, I be telling like Chris and Victoria, like, y'all drive is kind of different. Like my drive is not the same. I don't have no kids. I don't have a responsibility that major that make me say, hey, I need to go to work a regular job.
Right.
But you got children, you gotta make sure they eat or whatnot. You don't want to be no deadbeat parent or whatever. So you gotta make sure they doing what they supposed to do.
Right.
Are they fed or whatever the case may be. So whenever like people just see me out and about and going places and stuff, I was like, well, I could do that. I have that leisure to, go, because I don't have no kids. And I stress that. And they'd be like, so when you gonna have kids? I was like, whenever. At this point, it's not like I'm saying I'm stopping it or whatnot, but I'm enjoying my life, and the kids ain't gonna, when I do have them, we're gonna keep enjoying our life. That's all I can do.
You know what I'm saying? Just gonna make you go to another level, really.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think at this point, I probably just need one to slow me down just a little bit, so I can just get a sense of, I'm not saying I'm out of touch of reality, but just a little bit of sense of reality. Like, 'cause in my mind, I think, like, I can do whatever. Like, I don't have, meanwhile, I do got other, regular bills and stuff like this, but as you say, I live for today and not in the future. So I live for right now. So that's my biggest, I guess it's me growing up a little bit, trying to realize that, I can't, I got to worry about what I'm going to eat next week. I'm over here trying to eat lavish today, but, that might not last too long. So.
Right.
What made you decide to come to Atlanta versus everywhere else you can go, from leaving from Louisiana? What made you want to leave Louisiana?
I mean, Georgia was just, if I can say Georgia, I would say, because outside of Atlanta, it's a whole nother ball game. But Atlanta was popping, in the early 2000s. I touched down out here in March of '04.
This is during the BMF time, ain't it?
Yeah, I was the tail end of that or whatnot. So it was just popping. I came to visit out here like twice in '02 and '03. And I was like, damn, man, kind of just seeing black folks doing their thing. And, the entrepreneur world, corporate America, like just doing big things. So that, once again, it motivates me, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of observe and I pull from almost everybody that's doing something, on some type of level. So, I came, I saw, and I had in my mind, I said, okay, I need to try to do more. 'Cause in Louisiana, I wasn't really doing much of nothing, man. I was detailing cars, whatever, and throwing little parties and stuff like that and whatnot. But me and my dad had the little picture booths. We would take
And Mardi Gras.
pictures at Mardi Gras and different events and stuff. Like I said, just grinding, man. Always trying to just figure out how to, make that next buck. But once again, that's like too much of it's like you scrambling all the time. You know
Yeah, trying to figure out what your next hustle gonna be.
Right. And I mean, that was cool. Like I said, I always know how to get some money, but once again, I always wanted more.
Yeah.
And I think being a father early, that just drove it more because it's like what I need, I don't really. I mean, I know I can get that, in a day or two,
Yeah.
but trying to be something better or somebody better, I knew I had to move around, and Atlanta was just that hot spot.
Yeah. So how important is it for you or for people to have fathers in their life? Because how important your dad was to you in your decision making, and how did he help you, maneuver through life as an early father?
Now that right there, I would say that was priceless. I don't even much know how to explain that. It was definitely priceless. Yeah, so that helped me kind of see like a certain type of work ethic, what grown man look like. So it just kind of gave me that blueprint of what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. Just add my own little flavor to it.
Yeah.
Cause he was an entrepreneur at heart too, but he always kept like a job. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to be that person that been on the, he had been at his job like 30 years.
I think that's more like stability though. He just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything was taken care of.
For sure. So like I said, and I respected that. You know what I'm saying? So but that was priceless, man. Like I said, now that without him being around, I mean, I don't know what the. I mean, excuse my language, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing. I really probably do some other stuff. Yeah.
I be trying to, cause I got a lot of my boys without their fathers in their life. They there, but they're not like active in their life.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference between a boy and a father. Like you can tell when a father is really active in a child's life.
Yeah.
And you can tell when they're not active.
Right.
Like the whole, like they move different.
And I mean, people don't realize that. I mean, and shout out to the mothers. You can have a spectacular mother, but there's only so much you can do with a boy because once he kind of start getting up in age, he gotta kind of have something else to see outside of just a good mother. Because that male role model, you know what I'm saying? That's more so the blueprint that you're observing how to move, how to be a man, how to deal with certain situations, and just staying on your own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, with and without a father in the household, and even active in the kid life, like I said, I see it too when they come in the barbershop. The little boys that come with their dad, or the little boys that come with just mom, it's just totally different.
Yeah, it just I just pay attention to it, and that's what another thing that is like stopping me from having a child. 'Cause anybody can just have a child.
Right.
But I want to make sure it's gonna be somebody that's gonna be there for my child.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know we did this together, but we need to take care of this child together.
Right.
And I also believe, you know, even though everything, relationships don't always work out or whatnot, but I do believe if you got a boy, at a certain point, the boy should go stay with the father at a certain point, at a certain age.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because it's certain things this whole feminist movement is just terrible. We could think we could raise a man, but you could teach him how to be a gentleman. You could teach him how to do all this stuff, but it's just certain things you cannot teach a young boy how to be a man about. And I need the children's mother to realize that. And I see it every day, you know, with Chris' situation. I'm like, man, they make it so hard for other women, and they don't even know it. Like making it difficult for stuff like that. Did you have to endure with anything like as far as like you know, you trying to do something for your daughter, but you know, did you hear any backlash as far as how you parenting her?
I mean, you always gonna have something. I think it's simply because it's no handbook on how to be a parent.
Right.
You know, you learning on the fly. You're doing the best you can do. You're pulling from other people ahead of you that you respect. So you're just trying to incorporate, you know, the best rules and guidelines that you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I just have one, but if I had 2 or 3, I can see each one would probably need different levels of discipline, restrictions, because you know everybody's personality is different. But yeah, that's really what it is. It's just you always hit something, you know, and then it's as simple as this: when you're a parent and your kid does well, everybody gives you kudos like you done something spectacular.
Right.
And on average, that could just be that kid's personality and God, you know, shining a light on that particular kid.
Mm-hmm.
But if your kid effing up and they ain't going, you know, on the right path, everybody kind of looking at you like, you know, what did you do wrong or what did you do right? And in essence, you could have did the best you can do. So, you know, yeah, that's all part of it.
Are you gonna be like a Young Jeezy or a Gucci Man? Have another one anytime soon?
I mean, I don't know about anytime soon, but I'm not closed off to it. I once was, but I'm not closed off to it simply because I think I'm in a better place. You know, I was 17 when Bree was born, so I was a kid trying to raise a kid once again. But yeah, I mean, if I was, you know, engaged or married, I wouldn't be closed off to it.
Yeah, and then she didn't have no children.
Right. I wouldn't be closed off to it, you know. So
that's important to leave your legacy.
Most definitely, man. You know, you work hard to, once again, to try to be better and do better. To kind of just, you know, not have somebody that's gonna actually respect the path you laid. So that's why I'm open to it.
Yeah. That's another thing too. You know, it's very important on how you know, want to raise your children.
Yeah.
But you doing the barbering, I know you get around a lot of kids that you just be like, man, we need somebody. Or if you do young girls, that she needs somebody or whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think about mentoring any kids?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. It's kind of like being in a barbershop. You will have these. Like I said, these I would call them shop kids.
Mm-hmm.
The shop kids that kind of like they may be 3 or 4, and you kind of see them grow up through the shop. So if you see they got like it's a single mom bringing them in or whatnot, or grandma bringing them in, and you kind of realize just from conversation that the dad not involved or around, and then you kind of slowly but surely try to, you know, of course you always talk to them, you know, in your own way when you're cutting their hair, but you try to just, you know, ask questions and, you know, incorporate certain stuff, you know, and the mom have to be receptive to it, though. And you see it, because a lot of times moms might be like, can y'all give him a job? And you might be like, yeah, he can come and sweep, you know what I'm saying? He come and sweep or something like that after school, or, you know, on break from school or summer vacation. You be open to it, you know what I'm saying? Because you know him being around a bunch of men go help him.
Yeah.
Because he
I
might
think
just be around his mom and his grandma all the time. So
yeah, I think it's very important that you have both in the household, or both as involved as the other.
yeah, involved. I mean, it's ideal to have them in the house, but like you said, you got two adults trying to coexist. It might not work out, but at the bare minimum, y'all should be on the same page about still raising these kids. You know what I'm saying? That y'all made together. So, yeah.
Yeah, at least be on the same accord when it comes down to the child.
Right.
That's all. But I just wanted you on here to talk about your route of entrepreneurship. How you started and all that stuff. And can you tell them where they can find your shop and how to contact you? They want to book an appointment, and if you hiring barbers and stylists, what's the requirements and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can find me. I'm at 10144 Veterans Memorial Highway in Austell, Georgia. Um, we open. We work off appointments mostly. I mean, we do accept walk-ins as well. But you can find me. I'm on IG at Shawn John 82 underscore Shawn SHAWN John JEAN 82 underscore. And you can also book appointments on the Cut app. I'm on there as well. So we always hiring, man. We got probably like 6 to 7 open chairs that's available. We have a suite that's available for rental. That first month, booth and suite special. So holla at me, man. We looking for licensed barbers, stylists, lash techs, locticians, braiders, nail techs, just classic culture barbershop, man. Holla at us, man. We're ready for you.
Y'all make sure to contact him. I'll put all his information below on the video, and I'm gonna put his IG in the video. But thank y'all for watching. This your girl, Lady J. I want to say peace to you.